Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have one of those late night government runs going on over here where we're actually kind of seeing some pretty just crazy news. Number one, we're actually now seeing the literal Red Cross themselves urging gamers to go and step up. And as well, we're also kind of seeing some really big laws when it comes to Apple and Fortnite. As you guys can know, there's been a really big ongoing big court issue going on between the two. So that I think is now being ruled as of now. So we have a lot of little things to go talk about throughout the late night. So if you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy it as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. I should be checking out Star Rail as of tonight on Twitch. If you guys are bored, so swing on by. We also do have all the Amazon links for all the consoles, and of course, leave a like, subscribe, and let's dive on into the news. So first and foremost, let's get into kind of more of a crazier news story over here in regards now to the Red Cross. Now, if you guys don't know, the Red Cross is, well, the Red Cross, where they're actually now urging gamers to obey laws of literal war while playing first-person shooters or even literal wars have rules. What on earth is this, bro? What? So the humanitarian group wants to fight against the normalization of war, even for people playing games from their couch. So this is basically them trying to go call out, like, let's say Call of Duty, CSGO, and all these other various Battlefield type style games, and trying to make sure people still have respect as they're playing the games. Now, on the overall end of the day, I kind of understand what they're going for. It's kind of like you don't want to be like dehumanized. We saw a lot of overall like media attention based on that brand new game that came out with like the police like infiltration game that we made a video on like 3 days ago or so. That went very viral, and a lot of folks are kind of concerned about like the realism of games and graphics and all of that, sometimes making games well, just seeming too realistic and maybe making people too desensitized to the future of like gaming or like, you know, shooter games and all that type of stuff. So the humanitarian organizations call for on all first-person shooter games and players to obey the rules of war with real-life guideline governing wars in the world of video games as well. So a little bit of a weird one. I think I get where they're coming from. They also have some influencers, Twitch creators, and all that involved with this. So it's going to be a little on the weirder side, but we'll talk about this and then we'll do the court news right after, where we, the International Committee of the Red Cross, the ICRC, rally all FPS gamers to play by the rules of war, which protect the humanitarian dignity of people all over the world, the group declares on its website. The ICRC explained that it will be trying to fight against the normalization of war, even from gamers playing games involved guns or including themes of conflict from their couches. A little bit of a weirder one to say, but I think the overall maybe morals don't seem too bad. Like, I think the idea of it sounds kind of cool, at least in my mind. So basically every day people play games set in conflict zones right on their couch, but right now armed conflicts are more prevalent than ever, and the people suffering from their effects, this conflict is not a game, the ICRC wrote on their website. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like me a little bit more was like those controversial type conversations. So give me your thoughts, just be nice down in the comment section down below. I always kind of feel like I've had a pretty big distinction between like real life war in video games, like think Call of Duty, think CSGO, think Fortnite or whatever. So I feel like in my mind, I can kind of see the difference. I kind of also like the idea, I guess, of them trying to like not normalize it too much, don't make it too extreme, and kind of maybe take things for granted. It's like one of those weird things, or I guess it kind of just depends on like how much you care and how much you don't care and how much you want to just play games and how much you want to care about the real life world. I don't know, a lot of people like to play video games to kind of separate between the two, and also there's also a lot of younger audience as well. I can kind of see like why they want to make sure people are like respectful and kind of don't take things for granted. I mean, I can see it. It's one of those weird things, like I said. I don't know, just kind of pop the news. So the humanitarian group continued to destroy lives and leaves communities devastated. Therefore, we challenge you to play FPS by the real rules of war to show everyone that even wars have rules which protect humanity on battlefield in real life. They also had to throw in the quote for in real life. So I think, like, I get it. Like, there's even like technically rules. Like, you want to make sure like civilians aren't really affected, trying to go avoid like nukes, you know, all that type of stuff when it comes to real life war. So I mean, it does make sense. I just don't want to know if you guys think this is good or bad, or just you guys don't care, or you guys are indifferent. That's all. Just make sure you guys are chilling it. So the spokesperson for the ICRC, Christopher Hanger, told Fox News Digital that the campaign was not intended to take away the joy and fun of playing first-person shooter games. They just want to have a collaboration hand in hand with the community to have a tangible and meaningful outcome for the IHL as a common good for humanity. This does not mean that we want to in any way force the industry or players incorporate the laws of war into video games, rather start having exchanges about how those laws are designed to protect each and every one of us in a situation. So it's kind of just them trying to make me just bring awareness and not really change games too much and adjust stuff too much, I guess, in general. It's just intriguing. It's a very, very strange thing to go and see, but I think it's coming from a good place. I think. I don't know. I've seen, like, everything I've seen so far, it seems like it is. He also emphasized that the ICRC is focused first and foremost on real-life armed conflict, and its humanitarian consequences are and will always be my main concern. So also did have a few Twitch streamers as well. Zemi, Juxies, Jinji, which I've never heard of either one of them, are listed as partners with the ICRC and play popular games like Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone by the rules of international humanitarian law. So it's kind of weird. So basically, therefore, rules over here, when an enemy is down, it can't respond, you can't keep shooting at them, which I don't think is that bad. Like, that's okay. Second rule, bots that don't fire unprovoked are considered civilians, and you can't target or harm them. I mean, like, okay, I guess. Third rule, in any game, a map, houses, schools, or hospitals are considered safe zones you cannot harm. When fighting these spaces, you must do everything you can to avoid damage. I mean, that just happens in some games nonetheless, but I agree, like, the overall real-life world, like, even, like, an actual war, we probably should want to avoid, like, homes, schools, hospitals. It's just, like, a no-go. Like, just, those are just people that shouldn't be affected by any bad stuff in the world, which like I said, I get the idea behind this, but it's kind of just weird. And the last one is that if you have an unused med kit that works on others, you must give it to those who need it, be they friendly or enemy. Maybe not for enemy because we don't want them to actually win the game, but I mean, for friendlies, too, I always appreciate a good support. I mean, I even play support overall in Overwatch myself, so kind of a weird, intriguing thing out here to go and see. It seems wholesome at the end of the day. I don't think I have any big critiques on it, as long as I don't try to go and change up the video games too much or try to put stuff in there. I'm intrigued, but overall, I think that's wholesome either way. And as well, if there's a little bit more just kind of general gaming news, the court rules in favor of Apple and Fortnite's lawsuit. So the U.S. Appeals Court rules in favor of Apple, funny enough, following the 2021 ruling on the lawsuit filed against the tech company by Epic Games, which Epic Games actually lost a lot of really big lawsuits as of recently. So the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled in favor of Apple following the 2021 decision in the Epic Games versus Apple Inc. lawsuit. Despite the lawsuit being over for nearly 2 years, it continues to add to the ongoing legal tension between Apple and Epic Games, which started in 2020. These legal disputes were initially fueled when Fortnite was removed by the Apple App Store following Epic's disagreements with the Apple Store policy, specifically the 30% cut that Apple takes from each transaction. And basically, Epic Games want to have their own cut because they're making a lot of money, but every single time if you're losing 30% just for hosting it through Apple, you do get a little bit concerned. So basically, the lawsuit against Apple was decided in 2021 with Epic claims that Apple acted like a monopoly, being rejected, which I still think they kind of did in all honesty. So I'm kind of sad for Epic Games. So Epic was actually still thought to be engaging in anti-competitive behavior. It's also led Apple to being investigated by the Competition and Markets Authority, or the CMA. If you guys have been watching our Xbox videos, you might understand that. Apple appealed the decision on the Epic Games lawsuit the month after the ruling, and is reported by Bloomberg. The U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled once again in Apple's favor. So once again, it's kind of just bad news for gaming as a whole. And I do want to say, even for me as a Twitch streamer, I don't really necessarily like the idea of that, because you can't really sub to people on Apple, because you still have to go and basically go through browsers, because there is like an actual big monopoly issue. Like, I do actually think Apple is a little bit too strong, especially with how many people use iPhones, like over like pretty much like 50% of the market or so. So that basically is a huge, massive monopoly that people are forced, if they want to be in the Apple ecosystem, to utilize this. On the reverse side, though, we do see that Samsung also has similar features to get their own cuts off of their own store, like the Play Store, etc. So it's not a full-on monopoly on just the Apple side, but it does seem like both the Play Store should have a little bit more better competition, because, well, they just are making so much money. So the appeals court also affirmed that the lower court's rejection of Epic's claims that Apple had a monopoly in these transactions. The three-judge panel stated, "There is a lively and important debate about the role played in our economy and democracy by online transaction platforms with market power, but affirmed that that does not seek to come to a definitive conclusion on this discourse." So 9 of the 10 claims judged the court were determined in Apple's favor, something the company viewed as a resounding victory. However, Apple maintained that it did not agree with the decision made on the remaining claim and has considered furthering review. So basically, Apple won like 9 out of 10 things. They're still like, nah. We want to make sure this is a 10 out of 10 for us. So it's kind of weird to go and see, because right now Epic did lose a lot of money. Number one, because I'm actually not really sure, because I almost want to say I don't think Fortnite's still on the Apple iPhone store itself, like the iStore itself. Yeah, they probably lost millions upon millions, if not billions of dollars from ever not being able to play Fortnite on their phones, but as well also just from the cuts and the fees, and then also going through the legal battle, and as well all these other various big fees and legal fees they've had to deal with in the first place. So this actually might go into future legal developments, and then trying to appeal the case and kind of go even higher, and as well Apple just somehow won. Like, I'm actually very, very intrigued that Apple somehow won this over all that. So much of the dispute between Apple and Epic were fueled by the former company's stance on third-party marketplaces being banned on iOS devices. This was changed for European customers, as the EU required Apple to allow third-party app stores on iOS devices. Although Apple has made other changes to its operations to make itself more open to third-party marketplaces, these have largely not been applied to gaming apps, which Fortnite obviously is. With Fortnite still not being available once again on the Apple Store, the animosity between Apple and Fortnite is still present. So I'll be kind of curious to go and see if they just may take the L, pop it up on the Apple gaming store itself to be able to make it downloadable and just make their money either way because they did lose the core case, or if they're going to try to do something else, aka launch maybe their own mobile app, work closely with Microsoft, or something else in between. So a little bit of a more random video if you guys don't mind, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow me, hanging out on Twitch right now. We also have the nice little links, Amazon links, and make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on.